Okay, let's look at this example over here, all right? Now let's take a look in this form of indexes over here. This is gonna look very, very similar to this, right? So usually what will students do, they will confuse this form with this form. So a lot of students, they will usually write this, oh, that's gonna be 2x squared. But if you do this, that's gonna be wrong. But why is it wrong, all right? Now, before we, do this, what's happened over here? Why is it wrong? Let's again establish an understanding what a square means. So basically, square over here means this multiply by itself, right? Again, when we have a number sticking to an alphabet, it means multiplication operation, right? So again, I can rewrite this as 2. Okay. I can rewrite this as 2. I'm going to write at the bottom so it's going to look nicer. So I can rewrite this as 2 times x times 2 times x, right? And I can actually do something with this, I can actually rearrange it, collect like terms, and let's see what's going on over here. I can collect these 2 and 2 together, so it's going to look something like this. And I can collect the x's together. Oops, sorry, wrong color. Okay, and then I can rewrite this into something else, right? I can rewrite this into 2 squared multiply x square, right? So this will simplify into 4x square, right? So that's the correct answer over here. So based on this, all right, this is going to be a very important thing to understand this, okay? So with this, we can come up with our final rule over here. That's going to be very similar to this. So if I have, okay, if I have A and B, all right, and if I were to raise this to the power of m, all right, what I will get over here is A, I'm going to raise it to the power of m, and B, I'm going to raise it to the power of m. Right, so that's basically what it means. It basically looks the same as this, right? This is for the division, this is for the multiplication. All right, so that's basically what it means over here. All right, so once we have established this understanding, let's try some working over here. Okay, now over here I have 2x squared, and this whole thing I'm going to square it, right? So what's going to happen? So let's identify what's our AB over here. So this guy is going to be our A, right? So I know over here, this 2, I will need to square it, right? Because this whole thing must square, right? So what's my B? My B is going to be this guy over here. So that's going to be x squared, all right? And this whole thing, I need to square it again, okay? And then let's expand this and let's see what can we get. 2 squared, that will give me 4. X squared raised to the power of 2. This one is going to be this one, right? So if you have this, that's going to give me x to the power of 4. Done, right? Okay? So what about the next example over here? Okay? So right now I have this whole thing power to a fraction, all right? So what do I need to do over here? Okay, we already understand power of fraction. What does it mean? All right, it means the square root, right? Okay, or then we can just solve this like so. So this is our A, 4 to the power of half, all right? 4 to the power of half, and x squared to the power of half, right? That's our A and our B, right? Like the formula down there over here. We already understand what does this mean. 4 power of half, which means square root of 4, right? Which means the square root of 4, okay? And this one, x squared multiply half, basically you can just multiply the power, all right? So these two will cancel out. What do I get? All right, so 4 squared, straight away I will get, 2. And then what I will get here, that's going to just give me x. Solve. Same thing over here. I have my A, I have my B over here, all right? So what do I get? So I will get 8 to the power of 1 over 3. And I have x to the power of 9. And I've raised that to the power of 1 over 3 again, okay? So the first part follow this rule over here, okay? The first part follow this rule over here. Let's see. So cube root of 8, that's going to give me 2. And this one follow the rule over here. I'm just going to multiply the power. So what do I get over here? I will get 1 and I will get 3, all right? So what I will get in the end is going to be x power of 3. Done. Next one. Well, next one is going to be something very funny here. All this while we are doing AB, correct? But what about here? I have 3 terms over here. I have the 9, I have x to the power of 4, and I have y to the power of 2. I have 3 terms right now instead of the common 2 term shown in the example, shown in the formula below. So what can I do over here? It's the same thing. These 3 terms, I'm going to raise it to the power of half, right? So I'm going to write it as like this. So it's going to be 9 to the power of half. The second term, which is going to be x power of 4, and I will raise this whole thing to the power of half. And my third term, that's going to be y to the y square, and I'm going to raise this to the power of half, okay? Let's solve this. 9 power of half, that's going to give me 3, okay? X power of 4 times 1 over 2, you can just multiply this, 1 and 2, so I know I will get x squared for my second term. What about the last term? Okay, again, these 2 will cancel out, all right? So what am I left with? It's just y. Done, okay? So again, I can make this as complex as I want, all right? As complex as I want. So let's just say I change this to, for the sake of experimenting, okay? Let's change this to 3, all right? So what's happened over here? So instead of my usual 2 or 3 terms, I have how many terms now? I have my 1 term, I have my 2 term, I have my 3rd term, and lastly, I have my 4th term. So these 4 terms over here, I'm going to raise it to this power over here, right? So what do I get? Okay, let's use our combination of this and this, so we will understand what's going on. So my first term, that's 16, and I'll raise that to the power of 3 over 2. I have my second term, which is x, 3 over 2, and I will raise this thing to the power of 3 over 2. Okay. And over here, and I have my next term, all right, which is y. Oh, sorry. 5 over 2, and then raise to the power of 3 over 2 again, and over z squared, okay? Z squared, and this whole thing, I will raise it to the power of 3 over 2. Oh, sorry, wrong pen. 3 over 2 again. Okay? Now let's just solve this. Alright, let's just solve this. Alright, it might look complicated, but it's the same thing. Alright, so again, we have already understand what is this. The square root of 16 will give me 4. 4 to the power of 3. Okay, 4 to the power of 3, that's going to give me 64, that's my first term. My second term over here, that's going to be x. Alright, just multiply this, I should get 9 over 4. Over here, I should get y. I should get 15 over 4. And finally, my denominator, this will cancel out. So what am I left with is z power of 3. Done. Okay? So that is how we play with this rule over here. Alright? So these are all the important indexes rule that you have to remember. That's all.